Hello, everyone. Welcome to Idle Insights. I am joined by Tanya DePass, and you may have noticed that Tanya has a fantastic new familiar in Idle Champions. I hope everyone can hear us at home. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, especially after the community show, which was fantastic with Lauren and all of them. But hey, how did this happen? Tell me about Fenris.
So for those who don't know, I actually follow the Nordic Pantheon, and I'm also just a big lore nerd, and I really like Fenris. I like wolves and puppies and dogs. And when I got approached to do this, it was like, hey, we want to give you familiar. We want this to be, to benefit Take This, which works because I'm an ambassador. I'm also on the board. And I was like, has there been a wolf or a dog familiar? And they're like, no. I was like, okay, stay with me, dire wolf. And they were like, let's do it. And then when I saw the art, I made a noise I will deny making to, to the end. It was like, and it was an ungainly high pitched squeal when I saw how cute the art is. And I was just like, this is too cute. I want this on everything. I need like a shirt, a mug. I need all of the merch with this puppy on it.
It is incredibly cute. Yeah, I was because I think Direwolf. I don't know. I just didn't think Direwolf until I saw the art, and then I'm just like, oh, this is the most adorable thing in the world.
Isn't it adorable?
How does this all tie into your character, or did you just really want
I
to
just
have a
really
Direwolf?
I just really wanted a dire wolf, but now that this has happened, I may ask Eugenio or Brian if I can have a dire wolf. Like, can I just take a level of like ranger or druid, some reason for me to have an animal companion?
That's fantastic. Yeah, I think you kind of have to now. It's in the
Yeah.
video game, so someone has to give you a Direwolf.
Yes, I know Eugenio can't see the stream now, but if Brian's here, hey Brian.
You absolutely have to give up a. So what do you like about the Norse pantheon? Is there anything in specific about it that you like about that mythology?
I like it. I guess depending on how like deep slash personal we want to get. I um I fell away from Catholicism, Christianity ages ago, and now former friend was telling me about the Nordic path and kind of the different ways in which people worship or acknowledge the Nordic pantheon. And when I sat down and thought about it and thought about like which of the deities appealed most to my own kind of personal values,
Mm-hmm.
it was Tyr, and so thus the name Cipher of Tyr. Um, but also have a little bit of a chaotic side. And for those who don't know, the Fenris wolf or Fenrir, depending on what you're reading, um, brings about the end of the world, Ragnarok, and Tyr sacrifices a hand to trick the Fenris wolf and stave off Ragnarok for a while.
That's right.
And so I thought it fit both for Cipher of Tyr, but also Fenris. And the other side is I'm a big Dragon Age nerd, so
Yeah, yeah. There
I
are
was
clear ties in Dragon Age, especially Inquisition with the Dread Wolf, essentially being that Loki slash Fenris character, kind of combined into one. That is Dragon Age Inquisition is an amazing game. I love it. I
it
also love
is.
Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, but I also like Dragon Age Inquisition.
Well, and Dragon Age 2 is actually like my favorite game of all time.
Oh wow, that's
Mhm.
high praise. I have
Yep.
played all the way through Dragon Age Inquisition probably 3 or 4 times. I'm not gonna lie, just to get to play every kind of subclass in that. Essentially,
Oh, same.
yeah.
Big same.
I get pretty obsessive with video games. So how are things going? You're into shows. You're also in Black Dice Society. You and I were talking. Is it public knowledge or is it being too spoilery about? Haven't you taken some subclass? Haven't you dipped into
That
anything?
is not public knowledge yet.
Okay, well,
That will come out in the wash soon-ish.
then I
But
apologize to everyone.
now you just have to tune in tonight and watch and see if you learn anything.
Exactly. Now you have to watch Black Dice Society, which is a fantastic show.
I mean, they should be watching anyway. So
What is it like having two fun characters, popular characters on two different shows right now? Do you have a favorite? Or are they just kind of different aspects of what you want to play in D&D?
Oh, that's interesting because I never considered like I'm playing these popular characters. That's not a thing that ever occurred to me or a thought I had about them being quote unquote popular. Um, it's interesting because um, Celise is very much kind of a manifestation of part of my personality, the part that does right but is willing to take a morally gray path to get there. And Fen is that darker side, the kind of I will do whatever I got to do. I don't care who I hurt, which 99.9% of the time it's not me in real life, but there are some exceptions for some people. Um, and Also, I've never got to play a Dompier because they weren't playable
Right.
except in I forget what the UA. And then I was trying to very intentionally change the perception of Drow, at least with how I play Fen,
Yeah.
because you and I have talked about this, and I've talked about this publicly. I really hate how the Drow are perceived and how they're portrayed. So with the changes to Drow to the edition and the fact that I, as a player, have agency over how this character is portrayed, I went and ran with it.
Yeah, and D&D has like flat out said like there are several sects of the Drow in the Underdark now. Like it's not just the one that you've been reading about necessarily. But
Mhm.
yeah, like uh, everyone. I mean, it's always your D&D, and it should be your D&D. So you should never
Yeah.
backseat game that stuff. Because if you want to play a character the way you do, you do. That's how it goes. That's why we're not watching a movie right now or playing a video game
Yeah.
necessarily. What is Take This for those that don't know? Because you decided to like the money that people uh, uh, use to purchase this familiar will actually go to your this charity that you've been a part of.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, especially if you're a gamer, if you're a streamer, Take This is the first mental health charity focusing on gamers and mental well being and mental health issues. So there are resources. Anyone who's a streamer, stream ambassador, all of us talk about Take This in various ways. We do charity runs. I know when I'm live, I have a Take This command that runs frequently in the chat where people can get information if they do happen to be in distress or just are having issues. An important thing that we try to make sure people understand is that the streamers who are ambassadors are not counselors. We're not your therapists. We are there to help if people want to come in the community and have serious conversations about mental health or for playing a game. For those who don't know, Take This as an organization, especially our friend Dr. Rafael Bocamatzo, consulted on Psychonauts 2. So let's say I was playing Psychonauts 2, want to have a serious conversation about mental health and well-being. I could do that. And the organization is there in normal years. At most PAXs, there's an AFK room in case you get overwhelmed at PAX. I have used that room every year. There was not one this year because PAX was weird this year, at least West. And they're there to be a resource. They're to give trainings and options to people who may need just a bit of information. They may need counseling resources, and in cases of need, have links to information, both that we can give as ambassadors, or if someone takes the initiative to go to the site themselves.
It is really impressive because you forget at a convention how hard it is to have a quiet moment. Like you, it doesn't matter if you're like in the bathroom or you're walking on the street or you're anywhere in the convention. Until there were those kind of Take This booths, which I started
Mm-hmm.
being very very thankful for. You couldn't just decompress. You
Yeah.
would have to walk like 30 blocks away because there's so many people. So it's
Yeah, you would have to run away or go back to your hotel or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, to really disengage from the con, it can be very difficult. What do you like most about Celise as a character? I know you and I have discussed this, and I got to play at least. I've never gotten to play with Celise, so I got to like drop Celise into a situation. but
um what I like about Sleaze is that I'm getting to play a human, a undeniably black human who's older, who is not like the young doe-eyed adventurer that just found everyone in the tavern and is going off to certain doom. And you know, I like Celise a lot, and I'm glad I get to play mostly because of who I get to play with. I don't know how it would feel if we were playing with other people, if that makes sense.
No, that makes
Like,
complete sense. Yeah.
yeah, you know, if I wanted to, you know, let's say not forbid it to happen, but if let's say Rivals didn't get an 11th season, I want to bring her to another show, it would be my character, but it wouldn't be the same, you know?
Yeah. There's a certain kind of chemistry, and some characters just don't aren't as fun in different groups sometimes. Yeah, some characters are
Yeah.
universal, and some are very very specific. Uh,
Yeah. Like when I joined you and I was like, I'm going to murder Averin and Briv.
yeah, yeah. It's the folks with no impulse control. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
can can be trying at times. What you're streaming all the time now. You had
Yeah.
a, a a film in Tribeca that you had been interviewed for.
Hmm.
How do you manage all of this? Because this is a lot of attention. You know, speaking of mental health, like you're kind of like you're out there all the time, and what's funny about you is like you are definitely like uh, you are obviously one of my favorite people to run into at a convention or anything else, but you always seem so very grounded about everything.
It's funny because I was just talking about this the other day, both with you and in general, because our friend Raphael, I love this man dearly, but he will remind me often of why people see me the way they do, and then I run away because I'm embarrassed. I, for the most part, I try to remember that one, I couldn't do anything that I do without the community that supports me. And, you know, that is humbling. If tomorrow everyone said, screw you, I don't like any of your content or you, everything I'm doing would crumble.
Right.
I am very cognizant of a lot of what I do is possible because of the community that we've built. But also, I've seen people change when they get a bit of notoriety, and I've seen them turn into the very things that a lot of us mock and hate. And I never want to be that.
Mm.
Um, I also just, that's just not my personality. For someone who is very public facing and does a lot of stuff, I get very self conscious if someone recognizes me or if they heap praise on me. I'm just like, thank you. I'm going to go now. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Um, you know, which is why we get along great at conventions. Like, you know what? I'm suddenly really hungry. Do you want to leave? Yes, let's leave right now.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, you and I both tend to. I wouldn't call it shutting down, but like it's almost kind of a natural to be heaped with that much praise, and so like I don't know
Yeah.
that we have brains that understand, or can be trained to understand, and also I wouldn't want to enjoy that on some level. Does that make sense? Um,
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've talked to other friends who are far more, you know, well known. Like they can't just wander around in Target, let's say, or go to conventions without
right.
security. And we've talked about it, and it just feels like this is weird, but it also should, I don't think it's something anyone should crave because at a certain point, you no longer have privacy. You're no longer a person.
Yeah.
And even though I'm nowhere near what I would call famous, I already have experienced that of people treating me like a persona, like a thing,
Yeah.
or feeling like they know me. And you know, we've talked often about the danger of parasocial relationships, and it's just dangerous. And while on the one hand it may look cool and be like, oh look, I'm being flown all over, I'm doing whatever, there's work that none of us will ever see.
Yeah.
There is someone the other day made a comment about in I asked a question on Facebook and immediately deleted it because people. Um, but I asked if um, people who do influencer things, or you know, are at a point where let's say they get gifts from WOTC or they get gifts from PR, they get PR packages. How do you feel when people go lucky or jealous? And for me, I hate it I don't know how you feel about it,
Uh,
because we put in the work to get there.
yeah. I mean, I certainly, I'll definitely never forget. Um, I started covering D&D, and
Mm.
someone was asking like why I was getting interviews with people at Wizards. I'm like, well, no one's been really asking, and also I've been interviewing people for like I was a game editor at MSNBC and NBC, for like 7 years. So yeah, I kind of earned this moment. Like I've been working in television and video production and documentaries and everything else for like a really long time, and that's how I got here. And just because you don't see that doesn't mean that person didn't work hard to get there. And sometimes things do come easy for people,
Yeah.
but
Sorry.
I think.
Random hair. Fenris was hanging out here apparently. I got a random hair bag.
See, you really do. Now you need like an actual Fenris. You need an actual.
I need one. See any games, please send me a Fenris plushie. I will love it forever.
That would be amazing if we could start creating plushies based off our familiars. But
Oh my god, you would make so much money for charity.
it'd be pretty cool. I am not in charge of such things.
I know, but it was just like, but he's so cute.
What what have you been the most excited about in terms of projects recently, other than the clearly the dire wolf pup?
Um, you know, Black Dice Society, which is fun because when it comes to other media, I'm not actually a horror fan. I am a scaredy cat when it comes to horror films. At least like newer horror media. Older horror stuff I can watch because it's either campy or the blood is fake and it's just whatever.
Yeah,
But new stuff, I'm like, oh wow, you just went entirely the gory route, and I can't do this.
I can't do gore. Unless
Nope,
it's like
nope.
like if it's comedic gore, then I think it's hilarious. Like the Suicide Squad is fine for me, but like
Yeah,
I really don't like it when people are like trying to actively gross me out.
yep,
Yeah,
same. And that's where I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Goodbye. This was not fun. But I'm greatly enjoying because we're friends with B Dave, and it's nice to just get to show up at a show and not be in charge of anything.
yeah,
And DJ Knight, who I simply adore. It's been really fun watching him. I don't want to say grow because he was playing D&D before this, but this is my first chance to play on a stream game with him beside Motherlands. Um, Watching him have these amazing RP moments as Desmond, and just seeing him grow into the character and all of these emotional, wonderful moments that he's had. And it's not even that I get to be on an official D&D show, it's that I get to keep playing this game. One, I get paid to play D&D. That's a nerd stream, but I get to play with people I really like and respect. I mean, I get to hang out with Mark Mir every week. Who wouldn't love that? Um,
yeah. I need to get on a show with Mark Mayer.
yeah, I would. I mean, I would play in any game Mark is in, especially if he's DMing because he has such a vibrant DM style. I love it. Um, but
It's just an he has that absolute joy for it. Yeah.
yeah, and he just gets so into it. It's just like fun to watch him get so into it. Um, but yeah, I enjoy it, and also I just get to get out of my usual. I like to play paladins or rogues comfort zone with Fen, but picking a character that kind of needs blood for a lot of the blood hunter attacks in a land where many things are undead was maybe not my best choice.
I mean, like the adversity of that maybe becomes a fun challenge, I suppose. Megan actually plays a Dampier as well, so you have that connection.
I was lurking in that episode and I was like, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna do it? I'm not gonna spoil it, but there was a moment where I'm sitting there like, is she gonna do the thing?
Yeah.
And the look on your face, I wanted to text you, but you were live, and I was just like, I'm watching your face, like, oh my god, Todd didn't expect this.
I saw a gif of my face, and it was pretty funny because, like, at first I'm not really reacting at all because I'm just kind of like shocked. I'm like, what's happening? And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, there's like several tiered thoughts. So like, oh, she's really going to do this thing that blows my mind. Because this character already routinely blows my mind. And this very dramatic final kind of decision in D&D.
Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, you went there. Okay.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Ravenloft can be very fun in some very dark ways.
Yes, it can be amazing, but I was just like, wow.
What do you love about role playing in Ravenloft? I mean, despite having like a really great cast, and I totally agree. Like watching people play and get time to settle into their character and learn about their character is such a joy to watch.
Mm-hmm. With Ravenloft, it's a chance to get more into the darker side of things, where it's like the mists are not a nice place.
No.
The mists are not somewhere you go for vacation. And what I'm loving, especially at least with BDS, is Dave and I know each other well enough where he picked up on a very slight thing I was doing regarding Isolde and ran with it. And now Isolde and Fen are linked and they're partners. And now there's a plot point kind of running with what Fen is willing to do for Isolde to I don't want to say free her, but give her choices she thought were cut off. And we didn't talk about that. Anyone who watched early on in the show, that was not planned. Dave just ran with it and it worked so perfectly.
B. Dave is fantastic about chaos.
Yeah.
And letting characters just kind of like pave their own way
Yeah,
or dig their own graves.
yeah, there's been a couple I've gone into death saves 3 times now in 23 episodes.
Yeah. We got some people like sounding off in chat about my level of panic. Yes, the funny thing about Heroes of the Plains that's been Beyond Heroes and a couple other shows is I would say that most everyone in that show is very, very good, very good aligned, fairly straight laced. So
Mm-hmm.
the funny bit, which Laura and Urban just brought up, is that I offered something to Whittle, Megan Kenrick, my wife's character, and they said yes, and I just assumed it was a no.
See, that's what you get. What do we say about assuming, Todd?
Yeah, yep, no. I was the ass. But
it was beautiful to
that's
watch.
what I love about D&D is it can be like so utterly surprising, and you can surprise yourself as well. Like I've definitely learned things about characters I didn't realize. Like I didn't realize one of my characters was like, I wouldn't say pro undead, but certainly not let's kill all the undead. Let's have a conversation first. And it was kind of
That's interesting because I've run into more players that want to have conversations and talk their way out of conflict versus, well, I guess it's a fight, roll initiative. And I'm like, it's interesting because a lot of them are our age.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, I grew up with grimy, kill everything in your path, ask questions later D&D. And now I have players and friends that will go out of their way not to get into combat. And it doesn't weird me out, but it's not what I expect.
I really like doing as you know, I play a character that's very persuasive in devious often, and I enjoy playing Avon for that, but I do miss kind of the version of him I played when I was 18 and I was an assassin, and I would just be like, I kill it. Like I sneak attack, I assassinate.
Yeah,
I'm just let's get this going.
And this has been interesting, like for Celise, who's gone from morally gray, but otherwise does the right thing paladin to we could kill them. I mean, they're doing bad things. We could kill them.
I really want to explore that. There are like, because I have been thinking, I'm like, about, like, I always think about characters. Like, I've got a Dragonborn character I desperately want to play, and I've got a Paladin I want to play so bad because the Oath of Redemption is so, and I think we talked about this before, is such a very powerful subclass, but I love the idea of playing an evil character who is Oath of the Redemption Paladin. In almost that kind of way in Constantine, you have Papa Midnight, who is trying to maintain order, but, like, this is someone who used to, like, throw down and, like, kill people. at a
Wow.
moment's notice, and to have this Oath of Redemption paladin who is just not a good person, but the only thing keeping them from being evil is like their tenant. That's the only thing that is
Oh.
protecting everyone around him. And I'm like, I think that would
Oh,
be fun to
interesting.
roleplay. So we do have a few questions. We have Garwar, who is
Oh,
saying, "Have you
hi,
asking
Garwar.
Tanya if you had read the new Starlight Enclave book? It definitely shows off different types of Drow culture, and was wondering your thoughts on it. Have you been able to check that out?"
I have not, but if I will add it to my Amazon Kindle list once we're off this call.
Man, I am way into books lately. I'm doing a lot of
I
lore deep dives too.
I love books. I'm the nerd that will read. I will take a D&D book on a flight with me and read it. Except that until I went to PAX, there were no flights to read on. Um,
Yeah. Oh wow, you're
so,
right. Yeah, like I'm getting back into like Audible and like audiobooks again because
yeah,
I used to love that stuff.
it's it's hard because sometimes, like for me, I need to sit with. I'm the old nerd that needs to sit with a paperback or a hardcover book
Yeah.
with like my tea. And God, I sound like such an old lady right now.
No, and
Um,
lean in.
or like the like run a hot bath, get one of the I need one of those tray tables they always show like in Crate and Barrel,
Yeah,
of like you have your glass of wine and your book and your phone, you can prop it all up in the tub.
that is like the height of luxury. Like, it's probably like one of
Yeah.
those things like I've never bought. But I'm like, but I've probably improved my life in a big way.
Yeah,
Uh,
I need to see if my tub is actually big enough for me to lay down in. I moved in May and I have not tried to see if I could fit in the tub now
well,
that I'm
I
thinking
am
about it.
6'5", so that's my life.
Yeah.
Uh, More information than anyone needs to know. We have tall toilets in our house. We were very excited
You
when that was an option.
know,
We're like, they make tall toilets?
look, some days you just need to be able to stumble into the restroom and do what you got to do.
Way too much information for anyone at home.
Eh,
We've got another question. Will either of you be at Gen Con or Origins? I will personally not be at any of those. Yeah.
I will be at Gen Con. I will be very, very cautious because, fun fact, I had not realized that vaccination proof was not required. I thought it was, which is why they were moving forward with an in-person Gen Con. So I'm the fool. Um, but I am vaccinated and I know they're requiring masks, but also Indiana does not have a high vaccination rate. So if you're at Gen Con and see me, you're welcome to say hello. I'm not hugging anyone. I don't hug random people anyway.
Yeah.
Um, I may elbow bump.
Right.
I am playing in a game with Satine on Thursday, 10 a.m. It's also being streamed because I, Lauren in the chat and Todd can confirm, I am not. Oh my God, it's you! I don't do that, and it's harder. It's harder with masks on.
Yeah.
So many people came up to me and said hi, and then they had the expectant, and I'm like, "You're wearing a mask. I haven't seen you in 2 years."
Oh yeah. That is very hard for me. Like I can recognize people's eyes fairly okay, but like it is so it's so difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's also the parasocial people know you because they watch you on streams or whatever,
Right.
but you have no idea who they are. And they just come up like you've been friends for 20 years. And I'm like, hi. And I'm not being unfriendly. I'm just like, who are you? I don't think we've met in person. If we have met and I forgot, I will apologize profusely and maybe buy you a drink. But 9 times out of 10, I am not a huggy, friendly, glom onto everyone person when I meet people at conventions. But yes, I will be there.
Yeah. For anyone who runs into me at con, I am a very quiet person normally, depending on the group. If I'm amongst my friends, I'm not
No,
quiet, but yeah. Uh,
no, Jorgon. Sadly, I do not.
what Jargon ask?
What? You don't know exactly who I am by my eyes and unkept hair? No, I don't know. I am not a hugger, and I keep getting the people that want to hug, and I'm like, no. Even in a non-pandemic, I'm like, I no.
Yeah, no. And you've seen me pre-pandemic and how much
Yeah,
hand sanitizer I go through.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I always got sick at every con beforehand. So
I get sick traveling. I don't know what it is. Well, I know it is. People are disgusting. Uh, I mean, have you been in an airplane? airport bathrooms. People
Yeah,
are
oh yeah, I
gross.
know. I get in, I get out, and then I run.
No, Silver. I mean, before the panini, I was at a con and someone I knew them as well as I could know someone through Twitch and Twitter. We had not met in person. They apparently saw me, literally ran across the room and bear hugged me from behind. They're very lucky they didn't go flying across the room because I'm like, why would you hug a stranger from behind? You don't
Yeah, yeah,
know,
that's
that will freak them out.
yeah. Are you
And
are
they're
you,
tiny. I could have literally just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could use the center of gravity against them. Uh, are you excited for Halloween at all? Because like I am just dying for Halloween.
yes and no. I am not. I don't know. I stopped trick or treating when I was a teenager.
Right.
I used to go to Halloween parties, but a lot of my friends fell out of it. Like until they had kids, but then it became a kids thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they reverted from let's have a party and be in costume and have adult party and fun times and alcohol to well now I've got a 5-year-old and there's nothing wrong with having kids, mind you, but now they're back at Halloween is for kids.
Right. Gotcha.
Um, but I can get all the candy corn I want. Send it to me.
See that our friendship is now fraying because I cannot stand candy corn.
I'll eat yours. I'm helping you.
I will send you
I'm
all my
saving
candy
you.
corn.
I'm saving you.
It's just creepy Halloween teeth. Yeah.
No, now keep in mind, I like traditional, just orange and white candy corn, not the weird stuff that tastes like turkey dinner.
Oh, gross. No, I am not. I'm not down with any of that stuff. Yeah,
No,
that's terrible.
our friend Brian, Urban Bohemian, got someone to send him the turkey dinner candy corn, and he tried it, and I was like, I have limits. Even I have limits of what I'll eat. That was beyond the pale for me.
Yeah, I like the typical candy, and now there's all the nerds candy. We got all the nerds candy here at
Yep.
home.
Oh yeah, so you got that package too, huh?
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
Yep. I'm a sucker for anything that's gummy, and I hate Sour
Mm.
Patch Kids, but I have a love hate relationship with them.
They feel weird on your tongue.
I think about them and I have that response,
Yeah.
that ting in your jaw. So I do wish that I could get a giant 8-foot skeleton, but or what was it, 10 feet tall?
You can if you want to spend the money.
Yes, and also if I want to like really scare all the children on our block, which I'm not sure I want to
I
do.
mean, they wouldn't come ring the doorbell for candy.
Yeah, right. It's a good point. It's fair. The other thing that kind of creeps me out is scarecrows. Like I like scarecrows as a decoration, but also I'm like I don't know that I want a scarecrow in my house. I think it's been one too many horror movies where I'm just like that thing's just
No.
come to life eventually.
Nope. Mm-mm. No scarecrows. No. No, nothing like that. What's funny though is, I think I'm yeah. So behind me, you can see the Beetle and Grimm Van Richten
Ah,
box,
there you go.
and it came with a lovely planchette for the Ouija board. It's been sitting where I left it. I'm not touching it.
Right?
The Ravenloft box that we some of us got that has the Ouija board printed on the box. I was like taking this book out of the box, and this box is going in a corner in the dark where no one can touch it.
It's all those horror movies from like the 80s and the 90s that have trained us to be like just completely terrified of this stuff.
It's trained me to be terrified, but also, I am a little superstitious for some things, and I'm like, I already get a little freaked out because someone brought up the superstition of not having mirrors face your bed when you sleep.
Oh, what? What?
Well, because what if something comes through the mirror and you're asleep?
No, I didn't need to know about that.
Well, the other superstition was not having mirrors in the room because like a lot of people way back when would have wakes and funerals.
Yeah, they cover up the mirror. Yeah, it's the tradition.
Cover up the mirror. So kind of the same thing, but basically you're vulnerable when you're asleep. So,
right.
And I'm like, well, it's late in my case because I've got a wardrobe and the middle door is a mirror. So if I get possessed, y'all know because I'll start talking about like other stuff.
This is quickly becoming the Halloween creepy horror
yes.
interview. So I'm all for it. I loved old folklore, like that kind of stuff, because there was a lot of fears about ghosts coming back to life, and that's why they would sometimes bury people at like a crossroads or a quadrifoss,
Mm-hmm.
because they would try to prevent that ghost from finding its way home and haunting the family in certain situations. And
Yeah. So
sometimes,
weird.
oh, go ahead.
Weird fact. No. So weird fact. Talking about ghosts, and this may be a little morbid, but my mom passed last year. I've got the urn in the living room because I don't know what else to do with it. And some days I'm just like, I should probably put that away. And then my brain goes, if you put this urn in a dark corner, your mother's going to haunt you. Don't do it.
I think that's a valid emotion to have. uh, we got Lauren asking a question. So
Yes.
what do you do when you have a Ouija board and you want to get rid of it? Is there a right way to do that? That's fair, because I would feel some tension, throwing that
Um,
in the trash.
I feel like probably douse it in holy water and burn it would be the best way.
Wait,
Um,
you're gonna douse it in holy water and then burn it. So then you have to wait for it to air dry,
no,
and
no,
then
burn it. I mean, if it's made of wood, it should just turn to ash, right?
well, I would burn it first and then soak it in like holy water.
How about
It feels
before
like
and after?
yeah, I do that after. I wouldn't soak it
Uh,
up with water.
mm,
I mean, you play your character the way you want to play. you deal with your
see,
cursed relics the way that you do.
now I'm thinking about so okay, so let's say we burn the Ouija board.
Right. Oh, did
We
that
douse
release?
it in
Yeah,
holy water. No, you bury the planchette at least 100 miles away, so they can't be together anymore.
that's
You
fair.
burn the Ouija board.
Yeah.
You salt the earth it was burned on. Scoop the ashes up, put them in a river, and then also douse the bag that the ashes are in holy water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's all valid. Yeah. So that's how. I hope that was informative for you, Lauren. And,
I mean, Lauren, are you trying to get rid of a Ouija board?
yeah. What is there in recent memory like a favorite horror movie? Because I know you just mentioned that you can get scared. There is a movie called The Ritual that scares just the poop out of me. It is set also in, I believe, Norway, and the bunch of friends are going hiking and they deal with some very Norse stuff. And that movie terrifies me, and they really don't show you too much in there. But yeah.
Okay.
What is there? What's your? Do you have a favorite horror film?
The original Exorcist.
I've never seen the original Exorcist.
The book is terrifying. The book terrified me far more than the movie.
Oh,
At the time the book was written, there's some things they couldn't show in the movie where I go
right.
back and read the book. I was like, oh,
Gotcha.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Just put it this way: there were things done with the cross that you
No,
couldn't
nope,
show
nope,
in movies.
nope, 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 nope.
Nope. I was like, oh boy, yeah. I'm probably too young to read this. I'm gonna put this book
You're
away.
right. I remember I had the Creep Show comic, and that thing scared me so bad. I had it under my bed, and it was like one of those terrible things. Like once in a while, I would just look at it and read it, and then I would have nothing but nightmares. And I was like afraid of the comic, but like it was just bizarre. We got another question. So, does the mirror have to be facing the foot in the bed, or either side and the head? I've never heard of this before. Someone really wants to specifics on this.
I think if the bed is visible from the mirror, or like if you stand in your bedroom and the bed is, if you look in the mirror and you see the bed, that's it. Because I mean, for me, and this is probably weird, but the way my place is laid out, the wardrobe is flat against the wall and the bed is on the other side of the room.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on which way I'm in the bed, either I'm just in the mirror or like crowded against the wall, but still I'm in this apartment enough where if something wanted to come through the mirror.
It's fair. It's freaking me out though now. Yeah. I don't think I have any other real superstitions. I do. Well, I do have a couple, but I keep those to myself.
What if the mirror is scanning you and trying to remember you to make a mimic?
I mean, I don't know. You don't want to mimic this. Come on. You're gonna. I
Well, what if the whole mirror is a mimic, and then one day you're suddenly in the mirror looking out and it's living your life?
That's creepy, and that is actually a good horror film that came out. But mimics are real life mimics would be terrifying. I feel like a fridge would be probably pretty likely. There would definitely be fridge mimics and toilet mimics, for sure. Which
Oh
scares me.
no, that
I'm just letting you know.
oh
Just letting you know.
mm,
If you were a mimic,
mm,
I'm asking you, Tanya, with your expertise,
okay. My
what's
expertise.
the biggest threat if mimics existed in the real world? Like what are we looking at? Computer chairs would probably do very well.
Murphy beds.
Oh, I don't. That's not the way I want to go. And you're right. Oh God.
Yeah, because this is a random segue, but I play The Sims a lot, and they actually added some tiny home options, and one of them was a combo Murphy bed bookshelf. I gave a sim one, and he literally died the first night he slept in it because he tried to pull the bed down, and the bed he rolled a nat one, I guess, and the bed chomped him, and then the Grim Reaper showed up, and
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Your Sims is cursed.
Think so. Because I was just like literally he had one night in this bed and then we tried to put it away. Um
you
he,
know,
it
yeah, any like even couches that fold out into a bed. And there used to be like the old iron ones we grew up with a
oh
long time ago, and there'd
no.
be that gap between the couch and the bed, this dark place that's right next to your
Mhm.
head where the pillows rest. I'd never get over that stuff as a kid. I was terrified of that.
Yeah.
I think that's so
Yeah,
funny.
my friend Nora MK Jemison, she has European Murphy beds
Mm-hmm.
and they still kind of weird me out. Like I keep having is this gonna stay down? Is it gonna spring up the second I get up? And they're great. They didn't do that, but I've stayed on them, and my brain still has we're gonna die now. We're gonna die.
Okay, that's valid. What is there any type of character that you've been kind of like thinking about? I know you already got two in live streams, but have you ever thought about something another character that you would like to start playing in D&D?
I would love to do a magic user because I've traditionally shied away from strictly magic users. Partially because I have the worst memory in anyone's reckoning, and I struggle to remember spell things.
Uh huh.
But I would love to do something that is if either all magic or primarily magic if I multi-class, because I've usually gone with a class that is always fighter weapon first and then maybe have some spells like Celise, who while she is a sword and board fighter has an arsenal of spells as well.
Right. I That's funny because I do tend towards full casters, but I think I kind of want to almost go no magic next time. A
Oh,
little tempted.
like a rogue or just straight up like
Or
barbarian.
like fighter Bowmaster, or I do like the barbarian path of the beast, and I do like the barbarian path of the wild magic. Uh,
Ooh, I think Becca Scott's character on Black Dice is doing Barbarian Path of the Beast.
yeah, I think that's really fun. I've been wanting to do a Dragonborn Path of the Beast because I want to be the most dragony
Ooh.
Dragonborn.
Oh
So,
my god, now I want to be like a Dragonborn, like multi-class, but mainly like spell based, but then still be able to use a weapon if I need to.
yeah, I mean, Blade Singer is a viable option. Blade Singers
Mm.
are very powerful now. Thank you, everyone, by the way, who are in chat. We've had a lot of people kind of jump into chat. We appreciate you. If you have any questions to ask either one of us, go ahead. There is an awesome new familiar that is out there right now. It benefits Take This. It's Fenris. It's the most adorable destroyer of worlds that you'll ever find.
Yeah.
But Fenris does actually is quite cute initially, but the problem in Norse mythology is Fenris grows quite fast. Rather,
Yes, Fenris grows fast, and um, for those that play like Assassin's Creed, the most current game, Valhalla. there's DLC where Fenris could become a problem if you don't deal with him.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't delved into the DLC yet. We are kind of spoiled in terms of Norse mythology right now, video games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Between God of War, Assassin's Creed, and also the Thor Ragnarok movies and Loki the series. Very happy. So I will confess I was fully obsessed with the Loki series. I thought it was a
Yeah.
very amazing show.
I made a point to get through Loki. I'm behind on What If, and I did not see WandaVision at all.
I quite liked WandaVision, and I really liked Loki. I am kind of fascinated about the choices they had to make because of COVID and the pandemic. They had to change a lot of the endings, but uh, you know, there was some pretty amazing stuff at the end of Loki because they were like, okay, we just need to act this entire thing out. And there were some nice moments. We got another question
Yeah. Mhm.
from the lurking writer. Uh, who do you want to contact to make Fenris as an actual plushie? Who do you want to contact?
Or who do you have to contact?
Oh, who do you have to contact? Oh yeah, I'm misreading this. I have no
Um,
idea. That's Fenris is not copyrighted in terms of like the name, right? But
no, not at all. But you probably would have to someone to see any game. So I don't know. Eric, maybe?
yeah, I don't know. We gotta convince Eric that we're gonna start making idol plushies, plushie
Yes,
champions,
idle plushies.
idol plushies. And for like the upgrade for like the premium tier, they actually have like a little motor in them so that you can actually set them all off to start like walking in one direction.
But would they need a merch license from WotC
I don't
for
know.
this?
I am not an attorney or
Oh
a
no, Garwar said that, and I was like, huh, I didn't know that. Lauren, is Fenris better as a small lap size plushie or those gigantic person size
ooh
stuffed
both.
animals? Yes, so you have one that is at home,
Yeah.
that is your person size, and then the lap one is the one that goes with you when you have to leave the house. He guards you.
I I do think it would be hilarious because remember Iron Man 3 where they have like the giant bunny that's
Yes.
like 20 feet tall. I think it would be pretty funny if they had a Fenris stuffed animal that you could like ship to people as a practical joke. So
Yeah, I mean, it'd be an expensive practical joke, but it'd be
it'd be
hilarious.
expensive, yeah. It's a little outside my pay grade, my payroll, whatever. Uh, do we have any other questions?
Come on, y'all. We
I
have
mean,
10 minutes. Ask us
we got
stuff.
10 minutes, and we already know that Tanya likes candy corn, which is just.
Oh my God, you're never going to let that
I'm
go.
not gonna let it go. I'm not gonna let it go.
Just for that, I'm sending you candy corn.
Don't you dare. I will not accept your candy corn. Actually, I
You're
will
just
hold
going
on
to
to
miss
it. I
your.
will feel guilty because it is a gift. I will hold on to the candy corn until the day I die. It'll be very sad.
It would
So,
just be fossilized candy corn.
I feel like candy corn already is fossilized. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. So
I mean, it is. Hey, at least I didn't say circus peanuts or the pumpkins.
the pumpkins. What are the pumpkins?
Those mallow pumpkins that are like
Oh
candy
yeah,
corn, but they're pumpkins.
yeah. I'm not into that. What? Let's see. What do I'm being a very bad interviewer now. How would
That's
Celise
okay.
feel about your character on Black Dice Society? What would happen if they ever met?
Ooh, I don't know. Season one or two, Celeste probably would see her as a threat and be very suspicious of her.
Okay.
Seasons 9 and 10, Celeste would be interested in talking to her about being a blood hunter since Celeste is now fallen paladin slash blood hunter and she's changed. Um, She'd be fascinated, although I think the first time she saw Fen do her dread form or realize she's a Dhampir, she may freak out just a little bit. Because while she's seen a lot of things, fought a lot of things, She hasn't encountered many undead, at least in terms of the show. We've fought the skeletons, some other stuff. We've been to Avernus, but we haven't fought like true undead.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been to the Mists. We haven't been to any place like that.
You've in Black Dice Society, do you have a favorite moment that has occurred so far, or a favorite
Ooh,
B Dave villain? He is quite good at the villains.
oh God. Um, ooh, that's tough. I think seeing the last couple weeks learning more about DJ's character and the just in the raw emotion he puts into those scenes. When we learn about his character, we learn about his family history. We finally know his character's surname. But just the way that he and V, and I don't know if he is still in chat, the way that they played off each other for those scenes where V guested, it was just sitting here like, wow, good RP. And then anytime that Mark goes from Aslan Rex to Brother Uriah, we're sitting there in the Zoom chat, just like how we're talking, and just seeing the switch real time. I'm just like, wow. And it's like, this is my friend. I shouldn't be fanning out over my friend, but damn, that's some talent.
No, it is fun to watch. I was lucky enough to have Mark on uh, uh, Heroes of the Plains, and it's just let him be Bailoff and watched it
Oh,
happen. I'm like, I just sat back as a dungeon
yeah.
master. I was like, well, this is happening, so I don't really have to do anything now.
I need to go back and watch those because I don't know much about Bela. So
I would say he's very much the game master from Thor Ragnarok, but like he's got fighting
oh
pits, and I shoved him into Ravenloft, so we both determined that uh, if Baloth, who is used to having fighting pits, he's probably going to have kind of like the 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 Monster Squad version of the fighting pits, right? Like he's going to have like all these like iconic monsters in Ravenloft fighting.
oh dope.
Yeah, for sport. So he nailed it. It was pretty creepy. We got another question for both of us. Is there a skin you would like to see created for Idle Champions? Ooh, just Avron's skin. A boneless from Raven from Venricton Sky to Ravenloft. So
Oh my
just
god.
Avron skin, or better yet, a skin, an Avron skin that every other character gets in Idle Champions. So it's a universal skin, so you could have all Avrons in Idle Champions.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, yeah, big
Um,
the peak ego.
I mean, there you go. Ooh, that's tough because Celise is so new to the game. I think if there was an option to have a level 20 wing skin for her Avenging Angel look, if she got back into Tyr's favor and got back to level 20 of Paladin
Mm-hmm.
and the Avenging Angel just for her to have like beautiful white wings, and then if Fen ever was there, Fen's like dread form as a counterbalance to that.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
Uh,
a good what if Celise would be fun.
yeah. Oh, what if Idle Champions?
What?
What
What
if
if Idle
Idle
Champions would be pretty? I mean, like I kind of feel like that is Idle Champions to a degree, but yeah, that would be really fun.
like what if Orkira wound up with the rivals?
Oh, that'd be fun. I mean, that's
I
just a
feel
fun.
like
That's like a fun one shot.
yeah,
Like you would always
or
been part of this other group.
yeah, or you wake up and you're like, I'm sorry, who are you people? Why am I here? Or brother, oh my god, poor brother Uriah with the rivals.
Yeah, I've done that to my players quite a bit. We did have a very multiversal, very strangely similar to Loki the series that I had been
Mm,
working towards for several years, and they just kind of aligned. But I think the thing is, like, if you're ever obsessed with a certain subject matter, say time travel and multi
mm,
dimensions, uh, multiple people are going to get to that same place. You know what I mean?
mm.
Like if like
I
like
I mean, Celeste did get to hang out with y'all, so
Yeah, I am a big fan of crossovers and stuff like that. We got another question. You've run your Infernal Goose game a few times now. Has anything changed between the first time you ran it and the most recent time?
Um, I've had to change the goose a little bit because people keep picking classes that have like ridiculous numbers of hits per round. I think when I ran it on my channel, Gabe played a monk. And, monks are already ridiculous.
Yes.
By the time his first turn was done, he had taken like half the HP this goose had.
Mm-hmm.
Ran it for the rivals on one shot, and Lucia's character, being a monk, totally ruined this goose. So I've made the goose more difficult, but also just watching the things people do to get out of hell is great. Um, when I ran it just for a charity game, the fact that people were like, "Let's go! I'm not supposed to be here," was real interesting, and the fact that even though we said it's Avernus, and you probably shouldn't eat food you find in Avernus,
Probably not.
eat part of the goose, and I'm like, if we ever get to continue this, that's going to come back and haunt you.
I mean, I feel like hot dogs are still there though.
I mean, Infernal Goose hot dog, Infernal Goose hot dog.
You always give it some legendary resistances and legendary actions, so you just attack a player at the end of every attack.
It did have a couple legendary actions, but they were rolling so well. A lot of what I could have done, because we played at epic level last time, and so a lot of stuff that we could have done, they just were rolling so well. I was like, you found the one thing I didn't make the goose resistant to. Great. Great.
Yeah, I've experienced this.
And as a DM, when you're sitting there, you can tell when the DM's like, didn't plan for this. What do we do now?
I mean, that's what makes D&D fun. Well, on that note, on the goose note, that we're
yes.
So now you know what we're scared of. You know what we're superstitious of. Yep. You know that there's a fantastic familiar that is out there that benefits take this. Thank you so much for coming up with that idea. The art is amazing. It's a really fun familiar. So
I love it.
Thank you for being you and for being so involved in doing charity work.
I try. Thank you for having me on and being an awesome friend.
It's an excuse to hang out.
There you go.
I'll take any excuse. Getting paid to hang out is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone who, congratulations to people who won giveaways, and be sure to check out that code for the Electrum chest and everything else. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye everyone.
All right. Bye.